Okay, so The Suicide Squad in my opinion is one of the best DCEU films out there. It's everything that I wanted from a movie centered around Task Force X, and in the film I feel there's one scene that is absolutely perfect in its handling of metaphor and meaning. This is the scene at the end in which Ratcatcher 2 summons a legion of rats in order to take down Starro the Conqueror. When I first saw this moment in the cinema, I was absolutely blown away by not only the action, but also the cameo, music and message. I'm a bit ashamed to admit that I may have watched it again and that my eyes got a bit hurty from the water coming out of them. I wasn't crying though, I wasn't crying. You were the one crying. Now, skipping that, in case you haven't seen it and are here for whatever reason, let's just set the stage for how we got to this point. The Suicide Squad was sent to the island of Corto Maltese in order to take down the Tower Jotunheim, which we discovered hid a dirty little secret commissioned by the US government. This involved an alien life form known as Starro the Conqueror, which had been used in human experiments in order to see if there was a way to create a hive mind. The squad destroyed the tower and the starfish was freed, but rather than abandoning the island to it, they defied their orders in order to take it down. When everything seemed lost, Starro screamed this out through one of his drones.
This city is mine!
Defiantly though, Ratcatcher 2 backfired with one of the most powerful lines in the entire movie.
This city isn't yours. This city isn't ours. This city is theirs.
From this point, Ratcatcher 2 brings forth her army of rats, and they swarm Starro, climbing inside its eye and eating it from the inside. Now, not only is this a great way to take down the beast, it's also a metaphor for unity and the squad itself. Throughout the movie, we followed the downtrodden and often overlooked vermin of the DCEU and watched as they managed to work together to take down something far greater than themselves. The squad aren't exactly the first people that come to mind when we think of superheroes, and whereas DC has been brilliant at building gods amongst men, it's also important to remember that they do have characters who aren't exactly the best of the best of the best. So, now for lack of a better word, the squad themselves are very much the rats of society. In fact, when we are first introduced to them, they're either trapped in cages or on their knees scrubbing the floor and running around with no plan beyond their own survival. The team are a complete mess, and nowhere is this shown more than the massacre at the beach, which opens the movie. It showcases why they're terrible, and you're meant to view them as being things that aren't worthy of life and characters that don't really deserve to have a movie made about them. However, by the end of the film, they completely win you round, and you realise these characters are some of the most relatable ones in a comic book movie ever. They're perfectly built up, and we have way more in common with them than, say, we do with Superman. This is something that Gunn himself is incredible at doing, and just in the same way that he took the Guardians and made them A-listers, the director has built up a team of misfits and made them some of the best characters in the DCEU. In my opinion, of course. Now, the moment where the scene really hits home for me is when Ratcatcher remembers her father, the man she idolized and sadly lost to drugs. Though the pair had nothing, they had a community of rats which kept them warm at night and were very much their family. The pair were homeless and, much like the rats that they loved, overlooked in society because they didn't fit the conventional stereotypes of what a normal person should seek. The pair weren't materialistic or concerned with money, they just had each other. They also appreciated the beauty in life that one could find looking over a city, holding the person that meant the most to them. Not only is it a brilliant cameo to have Taika Waititi in the film, but he also has one of the best lines in the movie. Ratcatcher 2 asks him why rats, and he replies with the following.
Rats are the lowliest and most despised of all creatures, my love. They have purpose. So do we all.
It's such a standout thing for me that sums up not only our own lives, but also the lives of the squad themselves. They have up until this point pretty much been regarded as cannon fodder whose lives aren't important. In the end, they end up defying the control that Waller has over them in order to take down a creature who has started to gain control over a population because they would rather be free than doom humanity to a cage. This is the moment where the squad really feel like a team to me, and working together they manage to take down the Goliath and conquer insurmountable odds. Also, yeah, just the imagery of a million rats swarming everyone, it does look pretty cool. Now, I absolutely love the score at this point too, and for me it's up there with Hans Zimmer's Man of Steel theme. For me, it just drives home the emotion the characters are feeling, and due to its empowering nature, it's hard not to well up whilst watching it. It also has a change when we enter Starro's eyes with Harley, and the composer removes all of the instruments except for the vocals and bells. This adds a sense of wonder and beauty to the destruction that we see playing out. There's also some tragedy too, as Starro says he was happy just floating in space and staring at the stars. Oh, so that's why he's a starfish. However, much like the squad, he was plucked out of his home and forced to do things against his will in order to serve the nefarious purposes of the US government. It's a bittersweet ending, but it also allows our protagonist Bloodsport to overcome his fear of rats, and in doing so he conquers his own trauma. Bloodsport was abused by his father and locked in with the creatures, which led to a lifelong phobia. However, seeing the good in them makes him change his perspective and the way that he also views the world. He very much overcomes the odds, much like the rest of the squad, and it leads to true character growth and also a cute, very cute way to end the film. So overall, I think the scene is absolutely outstanding, from the way that it's filmed, the score, the emotion, meaning, and also the cameo. It truly is a breath of fresh air that elevates the movie, and it feels like the perfect way to close out not only the film, but also the journey that the characters have gone on. The scene is perfect, and it tops off one of my favourite comic book movies in recent memory. Now obviously I'd love to hear your thoughts, and if you're new here, welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Paul, aka the guy whose puns are a ratastrophe. Eh? Now, I hope you enjoyed the video though, yeah, bar that last line. And if you did, I'd really appreciate the thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for videos like this each and every day. We are running a competition right now and giving away 3 MCU box sets on the 30th of August, and all you have to do to be in with a chance of winning is like the video, make sure you subscribe with notifications on, and drop a comment below with your thoughts on the movie. We pick the comments at random at the end of the month, and the winners of the last one are on screen right now, so if that's you, then message me on Twitter at Heavy Spoilers. If you want something else to watch, then make sure you check out our breakdown of the post-credits scene, which will be linked on screen right now. We've gone over the whole thing and discussed what could be happening in Peacemaker, so it's definitely worth checking out if you want to know more. With that out of the way, thank you for sitting through the video. I've been Paul, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.